Blackstone Audio and Buck 50 Productions present Black Lotus by Quan. This book is read by Cary, Hite. Prologue. It was nearly midnight before Father Fleming was able to finally stop and take a breath. It had been a busy day at the church, with 2 funerals and a confessional that went on for nearly an hour. A woman had committed adultery and was carrying her lover's baby. She was terrified that her husband would leave her and wanted to abort the fetus rather than telling him. Father Fleming was quick to remind her that abortion was murder and a sin. They sat and talked for a long while, exploring alternatives. She eventually agreed to bring her husband in the next day to see Father Fleming, hoping that would make breaking the news easier. He promised her that he and the Lord would do all they could to walk them through the troubled waters. Doing the Lord's work was often tiring, but the joy that filled Father Fleming's heart with every soul he helped made it worth it. A soft breeze tickled the back of Father Fleming's neck. He cast a glance over his shoulder and saw that the front door of the church was ajar, flapping in the evening wind. It struck him as odd, because he was sure he had closed it before sweeping the empty aisles. It seemed like the older he got, the more forgetful he was becoming. Using the edge of the bench he was sitting on to push to his feet, Father Fleming shuffled to the door and closed it, this time sliding the lock into place. With his chores done, he was ready to retire for the night. When Father Fleming began heading back to the room he kept in the rear of the church, something in the middle of the aisle caught his eye. Stiffly, he crouched down and picked it up to inspect it. It was a child's baseball cap that looked like it had seen better days. It was worn and dirty, with some of the stitching coming loose at the edges. Something about it rang familiar to Father Fleming, but he couldn't place it. As he turned the cap over in his hands, examining it, he noticed something dried on the brim. Blood. "Donovan Fleming," the wind whispered softly. Hearing his name, Father Fleming jerked his head up and scanned the dimly lit church. "Who's there?" he called out. "Salvation," the wind replied. There was the soft rattle of chains somewhere to Father Fleming's left, drawing his attention. At first he saw nothing, then he spotted it. In the corner, beneath the huge wooden cross mounted on the wall, something moved in the shadows. Rather, the shadows themselves.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?